Okay.
I just found a trick if you want to check. I know you're setting up the stream.
I am setting up the stream, but I'm not sure if I'm live right now. I don't think I am.
You probably are.
I am?
Wait a bit, like half a minute.
Okay, well, apparently I'm live.
30 seconds.
Well, hey guys, my name's Jongwoo. I'm the gameplay programmer at Kitbox Games. So today I was supposed to show you some of the combat in Moon Hunters. So what I'm gonna do is take an enemy, like a beetle enemy in the game, and try to make a spawner that spawns the enemy. So here we go. If it'll boot up. Spawner that spawns the enemy. So here we go. Alright, that's a bit messed up. That thing shouldn't be here. Just give me 1 second here. If it'll boot up.
Make your music is going.
Am I listening to something here? Just give me 1 second here. Where's the music coming from?
Your computer.
But I'm not playing anything.
Make your music again.
Am I listening? Oh, maybe. But you're not playing anything, right? So where's the music coming from? But I'm not playing anything. I don't hear anything anymore. That's true. Do you?
Well, it's kind of laggy, so.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
You're not playing. Just keep going.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. I don't hear anything anymore. That's true. Do you? All right, let's go for it.
Well, it's kind of laggy, so.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. I don't hear anything anymore.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, so this is all right, let's go for it. The desert biome of Moon Hunters, and there's a random character. So here are the beetles. So they're a hybrid monster. They can shoot those like little thingies at you, or they can go up to you and kind of like bite you like that. Right now, they're being spawned randomly. At runtime, during a map shed. But what I want to do is, wow, the witch is kind of falling. That's kind of weird. What I want to do is have a hole that spawns the enemies, and that'll motivate the players to attack the hole, so that they don't get swarmed by the beetles like what I want to happen to right now. So let's take a step back here. Oh, what's the asset called? Just the beetle spawner? Let's see. Okay, beetle hole. This is the thing. Okay, let's see it in the scene. So this is a prefab since made beforehand. It's just mostly in our assets. It's got some colliders on it, but I'm gonna try to turn this into like basically an enemy. So I'm gonna add the basic enemy AI here. I'm gonna close this window. And I'm gonna add a base stat manager. As you know, we're using Unity as our game engine, and the benefit of Unity, of course, is that it's a component-based systems. So, once we have like a single stat manager script, we can apply it on anything, and now it starts having health. And similarly, once I have like one enemy AI script, if I apply it on something, it starts to have a combat behavior that I can start reusing. Right now, the way if I just do it straight up like this, it's gonna try to walk around. Beetle mound. Okay, so the beetle hole is not a. Okay, huh? The beetle hole is not the.
No.
Okay, what's the actual aspect? Okay, wait. Okay.
We made one beetle mound.
Beetle mound.
M-O-E.
Okay, here we go. This is the real thing. Let's see here. Okay, this is the thing that we want to spawn enemies out of. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing anyway. I'm gonna apply the stat manager on here, and base. Enemy AI. And what else? Doesn't have any colliders right now, so I'm gonna add a simple box collider or circle collider. Oops. To approximately fit it. Okay. So this isn't gonna do much yet, but let's just see it in the scene. Okay, so now we have this mound thingy. Looks like the beetles are coming back to try and take back their home. That's not gonna let that happen. But okay, so I can hit the beetles, but I can't hit the mound yet. So it's gonna take a bit more work. So I just put the beetle mound on the enemy combat layer so that the player's attack, so the physics calculations for the player's attack will actually apply to the beetle, to the mound. And I'm also gonna give it the enemy tag. And also, whoops, colliders. I'm gonna give it an impact effect and a block effect, though I don't think we'll see the block effect. Okay, let's see if that does anything. Okay, now I can start hitting it, right? It's giving me a whole bunch of errors at the bottom, but that's okay. We'll deal with that in a second. So we're making some progress, just little by little. Okay. So it needs so all the creatures or actors in the game have a rigid body of some sort. It's kind of silly for the mound because it's not going to move, but we're just going to set it to a kinematic rigid body so that we don't have an error like this. Great, no more errors, and it's still taking hits. Whoops, that's a beetles. Okay, still more errors. Let's see what's going on here. Unassigned reference exception. Stats 491. Okay, it's missing a shadow. It's not a huge deal. I'm just gonna put a null guard here anyway. It's probably good practice. And for this one too. There we go. Come on. Okay, still more errors. Oh, it wants the network view on it. But as you just saw, it faded away as it died. So its basic functionality as like something that lives and dies is ready, but it's still not a beetle spawner. So that's the next step. Okay. I'm gonna quickly write a new script here.
Oh, it has a death state.
Hmm?
It has a death.
Oh, it has a death animation.
No, yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we should do that first. That might be fast.
It is in there.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Sin tells me there's like it's supposed to transition to a death state upon like when it gets killed. So I'm gonna set that up real quick. So this is Unity's mechanism system. So it's a statement-based animation system, and it's helping us manage all the different states of a creature quite well. So let's see. I'm gonna add a parameter called die. And when die is triggered, it's gonna transition to the death animation. Pretty straightforward, right? Let's see if that actually works. Oh, before I do that, I need to make sure that. Wait, so do you want it to fade on death, or should it just like stay on like death state?
Yeah, I could stay.
Just stay? Okay, let's try that. Okay, so it's gonna try to do the death animation instead, and it's just gonna stay on screen when it's destroyed. Here we go. Whack, 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 whack. Whoa, whoa, that's weird. But it's crumbling apart over and over again. It shouldn't be looping though. We'll figure that out in a second. Let's see. Right, it was set to looping, so let's see if it'll just stay this time. Here we go. The layering's still a bit messed up on here, but I'm not too worried about that right now. But yeah, like once you destroy the nest, it just crumbles apart. Cool. Now I'm gonna move on to actually spawning the beetles from this thingy. And since this is the first spawner we have in the game, I'm gonna have to write something new really quickly. Give me a second here. Spawner. Yes, save. So I'm gonna make a variable for the creature type that I want to spawn. So maybe prefab, and then probably the simplest way of doing it is using invoke repeating. Well, I'll set up the spawn function first. Let's see, and instantiate. So I'll make an instance of this enemy type at, sure, like just at origin. That's fine with me. Just want to make sure that this works to begin with. So it's, if I'm right, this is just going to spawn one creature exactly where the beetle nest is right now. Okay, and the creature I want to spawn is the beetle. Okay, we should be good to go. Let's see what happens. Okay, nothing spawned. What's going on? Let's see. Is there anything else here? Did it spawn underneath? Did it spawn at off screen? Maybe that's what happened. Okay, let's try it again. This time I'm gonna set the position and transform that position, so specifically saying where the spawner is, and can turn in identity default rotation.
XL83 says, really impressive to watch.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, now we see the beetle has spawned behind the mound. We can fix that later, but cool. So we're getting there. So now I want to make it spawn at like a set intervals of time. So I'm gonna use Unity's invoke function. So invoke repeating spawn, because I want it to spawn. The first time value there is like the first time it spawns, so I'm gonna just make it like wait like 3 seconds, let's say, and it's gonna repeat every 3 seconds. So if I'm right, you just spawn the first beetle at 3 seconds, and every 3 seconds after that, it's going to spawn another one. Here we go. Well, in a second here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. There's the first one. Another one there. And there should be just things like they should just keep spawning infinitely. So my odds are pretty bad here. Yep, they'll just keep spawning. Ah. Okay. Now we wanted to spawn in front, not behind. There's 2 parts to this. I'm gonna just make it spawn like half a unit, downwards.
Hey, Jongwoo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna create a particle effect.
Okay.
When it spawns.
Okay, sounds good. Maybe half is too much. Let's say a quarter. And the other part is, so the tricky thing with our sprites is that they tend to be relatively tall. And so the way we're layering them often becomes an issue. So Mike wrote a script called Z layer based on Y, which automatically handles the layering. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Now it's spawning in front. Wow. Okay, that's cool. Oh, it still keeps going even after it died. So that's a problem. What I'm gonna do is have the enemy spawner check the AI to see if I'm still alive, keep spawning. If I'm not alive anymore, then stop spawning. So it's gonna, just a second here. Case enemy AI. So grab a reference to the AI first, and then maybe invoking isn't such a good idea anymore. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with it. If AI dead. Okay, actually it's the wrong one. I need to grab the stat manager instead. So grab the reference first. If the stat manager is dead, alive. Wait, where is it? 1 second here. Death is definitely handled here.
Someone suggests that we separate the ground part of the sprite from the top of the sprite so they walk on.
Yeah, that'd be smart. If you want to separate those, like, feel free.
I think that if we add the particle on top, it's gonna hide it anyway.
That's probably true. I mean, I mostly want to like, just get this thing working in a reasonable way. But we can add that kind of polish later if you want. Hey Mike, didn't we have like a is dead flag somewhere? Pretty sure we did.
For what?
For just creatures in general.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I'm just going to search for it. This is a little embarrassing, but this is what happens during live development. Okay, so stats does have a dead function. Okay, so base stats, that's stats. Okay, so then oops. 1 second here. then that should just stop, in theory. So if this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to manage the timing myself, which isn't a big deal, but we'll see. Spelling mistakes. Okay, here we go. So if this works, then if I kill it, it should just stop spawning the creatures. Okay, let's see. In 3 seconds, nothing should spawn. Seems like it's working. Cool. So you got the particle ready?
No.
Still coming? Okay.
But I can just push it.
Yeah, sure. Anything's good.
I'm just gonna do that.
Sweet. In the meantime, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can put this on to spawn randomly, like as with everything else in the game.
You can put you can put like a cactus or something.
Cactus on it? The other cactus smashing?
Yeah, particle.
Okay, fine. You want it to happen every time you hit it? Or as it dies?
No, it's when it spawns the.
Oh, when it spawns, it should
spawns
like
the hero.
crumbles. Okay, let's do that. Let's see. So the cactus smash. So this particle. Well, deployment debug mode. This particle, we're gonna use it on the beetle mount.
Pushing the particle.
Okay, so you're gonna push the real thing anyway. But for now I'm gonna use this. Okay, so back into the enemy spawner. We're gonna game object spawn particle or particles. Okay. Let's just say small particle. And similar to here. Instead of that, we're gonna do just do it this way. Whoop, come on, Unity. Here we go. Let's delete this. And I'm gonna assign the cactus spawn, smash debris to the particle slot there. So in theory now, when a creature spawns, it's also going to play the cactus smash debris animate particle effect, and I'm going to replace that with the Sin's effect in a second. There you go. You saw that? Okay. So every time that happens, new beetle spawns. Okay, cool. I'm going to grab the actual particle effect from Sin now. So I'm gonna update our SVN. Cool, FX beetle spawn particle. Cool. Wait, where did you put it?
It's called FX beetle spawn.
It's an empty prefab. It doesn't have anything in it.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta push again.
Weird.
Pretty weird, but hey, we still got the cactus thing happening, so you know, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try to get the beetle mount to appear in like the random chunks in the game. So the reason why the editor just looks blank normally is because the map is just being procedurally generated, of course, at runtime. And the only reason why I'm able to spawn the beetle in the first place is because it's already in the scene before the map is generated. To do this properly, it needs to be tagged properly.
Oh.
What's going on?
Looks like I'm using B18.
Okay. What?
Beta 18 instead of normal.
Okay. Well.
That doesn't make sense.
It should be okay, but you should be using a feature complete too. Oh, there's a release candidate too, rather.
I know, you're
Candidate
Oh, release candidate 3 came out now. Wow. Unity 5. We're definitely getting a really good mileage out of their new audio system and their improved state management system. I'm really happy about that. Actually, on that note, I'm just going to give a quick look at how we're doing the different abilities in the game. So if you look at the Spellblades animator, at the most top level, there's 3 categories, right? So actions, like that's where most of the stuff is. Reaction, that's like where the death state, hurt state is, and just idle walk. And if you look at action, then based on button input, it goes into different categories, and you'll see that like the arrows are generally going from right to left to right. But sometimes, like with the ones like this, it flows back and forth. The reason for that is to support input buffers and canceling between different attacks, so that the combat just feels more fluid and it just feels more responsive. Special thanks to Jason Kim for spending the time to really iterate through the gameplay. Okay, are you pushing it now? Oh, no, you're importing it.
No, it's converting all the files.
Okay, well that's going to take a little while. I'm going to keep moving forward. So
Yeah.
for the 4th time now, I'm going to try to put a tag on this thing. Okay, so the beetle now needs to become, it's already a prefab, I'm going to apply it. And then the prefab of the beetle needs a tag. I'm going to put desert. If I just put desert in minion, it should spawn, right? Or does it need to be part of the chunk? And so I'm trying to spawn the mound that I just made as part of like a desert biome.
To have it show up randomly?
Yeah.
I mean, it will go into the pool of what could show up with you.
Okay, yeah. We just need like the possibility of it, and so I'm gonna set it to very common so that.
Sure.
Yeah. Then if I put it in desert, then it should.
It's possible that it might not.
Okay. Well, that's the nature of procedurally generated games. So you'll notice that all these creatures, they have a robust tag system designed by Mike. So like enemy, desert, mini boss, you can put like a whole bunch of like tags on it so that if like a given area or a given chunk of the map has those matches up with those tags, it'll spawn those things. And like I guess Mike will talk more about that if he wants later. Let's see. Okay, anyway, the mound just needs desert mini. Okay, let's hope that this works. It's entirely possible that we'll be wandering around the desert a little while before we encounter anything, but let's see.
Check the scene.
Yeah, checking the scene would probably save a lot of time and result in less wandering around the desert aimlessly.
Pushed it.
You've pushed it, great. Oh, well, what is this? The mounds did spawn, great. So if you see the scene here, just like to the east of the player's player starting position, like all these beetle mounds have spawned. This could be very dangerous, but I'm gonna try and conquer the desert anyway.
That's what you get for making them very common.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was worried it wouldn't work, but let's see what happens. Okay, so here's a random cobra. We don't care about the cobra. I'm just gonna dash through and see what happens. Holy okay. Every 3 seconds, a new beetle comes out of like one of the mounds. I should probably randomize it a little bit so that it's not like a beetle factory. But that's okay. Wow, that's not exactly a fair fight. But that's okay. Now we've proven that it works. The spawner works.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna change this from very common to I don't know, rare, I guess.
You can see whether or not my rarity thing actually works.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. Okay, I need to put a network.
You want a smoothie?
Huh?
You want a smoothie?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any kind?
Protein extreme, please.
Also, Minu Rabba on Twitch says, I love how open you guys are about your game. This is always awesome to see.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have like no pride or anything. We got nothing to hide. Okay, so now, so you might have just seen that like, I put a network view and a network rigid body updater. We're committed to bringing Moon Hunters to PC, and we're gonna and PS4 and PS Vita, of course. And part of the things that part of the stretch goals we hit was, of course, network multiplayer. And these components are what allows the synchronization online. But let's see. Come on. There we go. Let's see if. Okay, so Mike, I'm not sure that your the rarity thing works. It just spawned a cluster of 5 beetle mounds.
What do you have it?
I have it as a desert minion and enemy.
It's because it's a minion.
Okay.
It
Oh, okay.
grabs a lot of minions regardless of rarity.
Okay, so maybe I'll take that out, and maybe I'll even take out enemy, right? Like it's just
medium or large, medium.
medium. Okay, let's try that.
Is that? Is that it?
Oh, and it's reset back to uncommon. I'm gonna put it as rare.
Okay. Joe, you good for streaming for another hour?
I can do it, but like I'd like to.
Just make the Ursa major.
I could, and honestly, like I'm open to suggestions about like what you guys might want to see from the game, like whatever, like within reason, of course. But no, it's kind of a weird feeling when you're sucking bad at your own game, but it happens. Okay, so should I just take off the enemy tag as well? I'm just gonna do that.
So the irony of this is I developed the actual tag system, but I don't know how Tanya implemented it. So those are Tanya questions.
Wow, it's always a designer's fault, right? That's okay. Let's see. The list says, oh, for once, no mound spawned. Okay, then I'm gonna try running the game again.
What do you're trying to get like a couple of them to spawn?
Just a couple, yeah. If I just have it as a desert tag, is it even gonna spawn? Desert and medium right now.
It needs to be part of some other thing that's spawning it. So.
Okay, then I do need
it needs
enemy.
the enemy thing.
Okay, but it's gonna
But
spawn as
try enemy medium.
it already was enemy medium.
Was it?
Maybe I'll try enemy large. I don't know if anything
I
has.
don't remember what tags are being pulled exactly there.
Okay, I'm gonna try a desert enemy large and see if that does anything.
I'm not sure that the rarity level is being applied
Okay.
to just specifically to the enemies.
Okay.
They're being spawned in more controlled groups rather than totally randomly. So
Right.
there are like group spawners that grab specific tags. So I think it ignores rarity level because it's being handpicked more.
Okay. Then it might not be possible for us to really control that right now, but that's okay. I mean, I really just wanted to get the spawners to work, so I'm already happy. Just gonna set this back to medium. Okay, they're really not spawning anymore. I guess rare is really rare. Oh, there it is. There's a cluster of mounds over there. Cool. That works. I'm gonna commit my changes before something horribly goes wrong. I don't think I changed these guys. Not relevant, not relevant. It's what?
Showing SVN commits. Exciting.
Exciting stuff. I mean, this is a real development here. Like, this is what actually happens on a day-to-day basis.
I pushed the particle.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right. I should implement that first.
Jongwoo narrates everything he does also.
All the time.
Even when he's
Jong-
on stream.
Yeah, even without on screen, I just like talk to myself all the time. So this is really not that different. It makes me feel special. What's it called? Oh, the effects something. Yeah, what's it called? Okay, Sin's not listening, but that's all right. Beetle something. Okay, wait. What is it called?
FX underscore beetle spawn.
Oh, but it's still empty. Beetle spawn particle. Like,
What?
I don't. Okay, wait. Maybe I didn't pull. I'm gonna try pulling now.
Shit is broke.
Yeah. Well, whose fault is that?
Unity.
Yeah, probably. Okay, there you go. Okay, now it's actually working. Let's see. Cool, that's working now. I think 3 seconds might be a bit fast, but whatever. Cool. Gonna push it again. Beetle mound. Particle effect. Okay. Next up. During normal day productions, maybe we should do that, but
Sounds like a terrible idea.
terrible idea. I don't know. Ursa Major or Buffing Terror. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try doing the Ursa Major then. So Ursa Major, as you can imagine, is like this bear-like thingy. It's gonna be one of our heavy enemies in the game. Sin's already set up most of the animator here. So you'll see that it starts in the idle state, and then it's hooked up to the melee attack, its heavy boom attack, and such. Okay, so I'm gonna assume it mostly works, but let's just check out where it's at right now. Okay, so seems pretty good already, but let's see if it can actually attack. It cannot.
Mostly doesn't work.
Okay, it mostly does.
Because the attack has a. Right now it's only the hit frame when it starts that's booked up.
Okay.
For the attacks.
All right. I'm gonna delete the mound so that.
It's really fat. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty goddamn fat. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what's going on. We open up the animator here and we look at the melee attack blend. Wait, so this is. Oh wow. Okay, that's quite a different situation. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a substate machine called basic attack. Yes. Wait. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And I'm gonna make another substate machine here. It's gonna be called startup.
I just dragged them in.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna make another one called the attack itself. And it's just gonna go straight through. Cool. Right now this isn't gonna do anything, but in a second it will. I'm gonna just wow. I'm actually gonna just delete all these. Sorry, Sin. I'm just gonna put them add them inside the controller. Going in here, and let's see. So you'll notice that the attack animation is split into 3 parts: the start, the hit, and the end. It just gives us much more control over like the duration of the attack, when the actual hit frames happen, or like if we want to reduce the cooldown on it, that sort of thing. Okay, I'm just gonna drag those 4 things in here.
Oh wait.
What's up?
Someone asked, the behavior connector is native from Unity. Is that a plugin?
It is native. This is, so just so we're clear, we're running a Unity 5 beta. It's on release candidate 3 now. It's only accessible by people who have either a subscription to the pro version of Unity or have a pre-order for Unity 5. So right now, the main publicly available version is 4.6, but the official release of 5 should be coming very soon. Okay, and okay, where was I? So we were doing the startup animations, right? I think. Actually, I'm just gonna use a blend tree for this. Maybe this doesn't need to be a sub-state machine. Sorry, just going back and trying again. And if you right-click on this and create a new blend tree in state, then you get this nifty little menu. Whoops, no, that's not what I want. I want it to be 2D, and one axis being the X, one axis being the Y, and there's going to be 4 different states. And so Ursa attack. I'm going to start with south, then I think that it would just save the west, whoops, north, then finally east. Okay, and I'm gonna, whoops, no, okay, it didn't lose my progress or anything. Just gonna expand these here. South is going to be, of course, when the Y is in the negative. West is going to be when the X is in the negative, and then north in the positive for north, and sorry, Y in the positive for north, and X in the positive for east. If I do like this, wait, why is that one way off? That's weird. Okay, here we go. It corrected itself. So the way this is set up, it's supposed to just correctly pick the right directional animation based on the current input. So if the Ursa Major's AI tells it to go southwest, it'll try to do something between west and south, which isn't that great for sprite animation, but at least you know, it does manage the directions in and of itself. I'm gonna set the thresholds a lot lower, so that it changes the directions instead of trying to blend them more often. Okay, so this is how it's going to be. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to set up a new state here for, so I'm going to do the same thing basically for each part of the attack animation. So this is going to be the attack itself, and this is going to be end. Okay. Okay, and make transition, and I'm just going to quickly do the same thing. Thank you very much. Ooh, nice, Graham. Okay. So, same thing. 2-dimensional, move X, move Y. For fields, thresholds are going to be whoops, negative 0.3, negative 0.3, positive 0.3, and positive 0.3. And then I'm just going to sign up from the project view here. Whoops, east. And, okay. Here we go. And now I have a normal attack setup, and now for the final part.
I'm just kind of learning, taking notes, and I was like, this worth it. Skip that more.
Yeah. Okay, so
But I
Oops,
use
keep
those
forgetting
to
this.
like read things.
No, I gotta set this up. Okay. 0.3, 0.3, well, no, that didn't speed, and 0.3. 0, 0. 0. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. But me, yeah. But I never
So
think I
west,
go more like
south, now it's starting to show, and then north, and east. So it should go full, well, the other way around for you, I guess. And make transition out. And I'm just gonna check the transitions. So Unity assumes that you want blending because for most 3D games that makes sense. You want to be able to blend between one state to another. We're doing 2D sprite animation, so we definitely do not want blending. We do not want transitions, any of that shit. So it's just gonna have exit time and play like one time, and that's it. And then it's gonna move on to attack. Then same thing for attack. It's gonna just play one time, and then no transition. And okay, and exit. Cool. Now the animation itself is set up. That's the basic attacker. I'm gonna unhook this and then hook up the new attack and to the state machine itself. So right now it's only allowing the Ursa Major to go from the idle state to its attack state, but I want it to be able to just naturally transition between the walking to the attack as well. Okay. And as far as what triggers the transition, it's gonna be just the attack trigger, and same thing here, and also the attack trigger. And the exit time really doesn't matter, but I don't like it showing the blending anyway. Okay, at this point, one thing I need to check is the priority. It'll always pick the animation state with the highest priority. So right now, like walk has a higher priority than basic attack. So my attack will almost never show up. So I'm gonna bring it higher. I'm gonna deal with boom attack in a second, but not yet. There we go. So hurt is highest priority because if it gets interrupted, it should just play the hurt animation. But in all other cases, if it's supposed to attack, it will play the attack animation. Let's see if all that worked.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's
Okay, there we go. It's lumbering towards me and doing something. I'm not sure what exactly it's doing, but I assume it's trying to attack. I should really check out the attack animation itself. Okay. Okay, it's trying to bite me.
And there's, for me, like when I design
Okay, so it's got problems, but we're making progress, and progress is good. Let's see what's going on with the attack colliders. Okay, so it's very tiny compared to its actual size, so I'm gonna expand this to be about 0.5. This is gonna make the Ursa Major pretty deadly, but I just want to make sure it works at this point. Maybe it won't, but we'll see. Okay, I'm not sure why it's doing that, but oops. I am taking damage though. Sorry, I'll turn on the health bar in a second. But when the Ursa Major does this, okay, maybe I'm not taking damage. I'm gonna kill those beetles really quick. Okay. I'm also gonna make myself invincible this time. Invincibility on. And then I'm gonna turn on the stat panel. Oh wait, if I'm invincible, I can't take damage. So okay, I'm just gonna kill all the beetles here. Okay, great. Now we can turn back to normal mode. Why is it doing that? Okay, here we go. So left side is kind of working. It's probably a blending issue then. It's trying to kill me, but it's kind of failing at it. Okay, so sometimes I'm taking damage from it. Okay, it's progress. Okay, now this guy, where's his collider? Okay, so his collider is, as you just saw, like it's this big compared to his body, which is like much, much bigger. So I'm gonna expand it. Maybe like that. And then I'm also gonna turn this back on. Just to see, let's say, he's standing here, the Ursa Major can't attack, that's probably why. Let's try moving the colliders a little bit more outwards. Well, that doesn't really make sense, but no, that's not right. And whoops. Okay. Let's try that. Because then now it should be able to bite me, I think. Let's see. This one. God. Here we go. Okay, here comes Ursa Major, and he just kind of rubs his face in my butt. Okay. That's because its AI behavior stats say that it has to be this close in order to attack, and I'm just going to change that so that it's maybe like this. Here we go. Okay, I'm still not sure why it's turning like that, but we're getting better. Ah. Okay.
How do we fix that part? Can we like take it?
Okay. Okay, great. So it's getting better, but it's still doing the weird twitchy thingy. I'm gonna have to look at the animator again. So what I'm gonna do this time is I'm gonna run the animator at the same time that while I'm running the game.
Okay, don't worry about that then. I don't care. If they
I'll
screw
put
it
that
up,
on the bottom half. How about that?
They're weird.
Like this. And then I'm gonna profile the Ursa Major in real time.
But it cheats me.
Whoops. Okay, so
Is it possible
where's?
to have like press A?
Just gonna delete these guys.
It's totally possible.
Except the player data.
And then here we go.
Okay, I'll just restart it.
If you turn on auto live link, it'll
Not ideal,
it's supposed to automatically track
Because
the
reset
state,
functionality
but it
was
doesn't seem to be. Okay, it is doing it. Okay, good.
like,
Less the creature. Okay, great. Okay, that beetle just won't die. Whoa, what happened there? I don't even. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at it again. I'm gonna turn on auto live link for now because all I really care about is like where in the animation just does a weird twitching thingy. And I'm gonna turn on invincibility again.
I haven't been stuck. I haven't, because I'm playing that was with the big map.
Okay.
Because I'm playing by myself, it's really hard.
Okay, so it's
okay,
definitely.
please go from medium
And then
to-
I'm gonna
I have
even
to go unfortunately, like, in 2 minutes.
slow down the time because I have that power. And okay, so it's definitely happening during the attack animation.
So I'll be
So
back
that probably
at
means
5
I
o'clock and we'll
screwed
decide
up
on stuff.
the blend tree here. Okay, so I clearly screwed it up. South and west are reversed. Okay, let's fix that.
Like what shifts. I
Okay.
wrote a guidelines page in the.
Okay, now it shouldn't do that anymore.
I think it's in my folder. It's called.
Okay, let's set it back to real time.
Presentation guide.
Um,
Our presentation guide. But you know all that stuff, basically.
now we're
If you wanna-
now it's working. Okay.
The build is working. Yeah.
It's still kind of ramming into me for some reason. I'm not sure why.
And we have it done, then.
I think it's
like,
probably an
use
AI
this
issue at this point,
actually
but
use and-
okay, and it kind of slides around. I don't want it to slide around when it attacks, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply the stop movement
At least maybe for a little
component
while,
onto the Ursa Major, and then now it shouldn't move while it's attacking. So you'll notice that once it starts its attack animation now, it stops. If I don't do that, then it'll slide around. If it actually tries to attack me. But it seems like it's stuck for some reason. I'm guessing it's stuck between the
None of
colliders.
us are going to want to stay till
Or
midnight, so that's going to have to
maybe not.
be a short.
Okay, now it's done. Great. But again, we're making progress, and that's what's really important. I'm just gonna take a sip here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay. Back to the good stuff.
We're bringing stuff.
Okay.
Somebody has to bring in a bunch
I'm
of stuff to set
gonna
up.
just put that back in there because I know it works. I don't have to prove it to you.
I have my laptop here, so I can give it to whoever is making the first show.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Kind of lumbers across, then boom, boom.
Yeah, I think the plan was just to take one of Sam's monitors, or even my monitor, which is a smaller but super light.
Okay, that range is ridiculous.
It's
I
like
need to
really
fix
easy
that.
to carry my monitor
But yeah.
around, 'cause it's like less
So we got the basic attack of the Ursa Major working now.
So that probably shouldn't just be one of us doing it.
So next up, I'm gonna hook up the boom attack, the heavy attack of the Ursa Major. I'm gonna just put this back onto the main section so that we have
Well, a
a
laptop
bigger
fits in
view.
the bag. In fact, I can leave you the bag if you want. And
Okay.
like I said,
The same thing as
monitor
before. I'm gonna
fits
create a
really,
new
really
substate
light.
machine called
It's not actually that.
boom attack,
Look at it. It's tiny.
and I'm gonna open it up
But I
and
don't know what
set up the different parts to it.
Kind of the
Same thing. Start
organizer logistics at this point, because he's handling packs.
attack,
So I'm kind of leaving him
and
license to practice the pack as much as he wants, or not.
and
But yeah.
I guess it really should be called
If you guys
cooldown
want
or
to
whatever.
wait for me, I'll be back at 5, and we can decide then. Or you can decide before I get back. and I'll just
Transition,
take
transition,
Whatever you guys decide.
and transition,
Because you guys are both
and transition.
all equally smart. So,
Okay. Good. What happened there? All right, it's not a. It's right. So I'm gonna create a new. What? No. What happened there? Where am I? Oh, it's in basic attack. Sorry, I meant to go into boom attack. And I'm gonna create. Wait, why did I? God. Okay, I screwed up there. These guys should also be just normal states, not substate machines.
The great Nero says thanks for streaming. This is great to watch.
Oh, thank you.
You said streaking.
Streaking.
I just want to point that out.
I don't remember doing that, but maybe someone was streaking behind me.
Timers.
Just gonna clean up this quick. Startup attack and end. Okay, here we go. And then I'm gonna set up blend tree, 2-directional, move X, move Y, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So same thing as before, minus 0.3, minus 0.3, 0, 0.3, and 0.3.
Yeah.
And 0. Okay.
Build working from start to finish.
And
Okay.
this is the boom attack, so I'm gonna
I'm
put
trying to
the
merge Mike
west,
from start of the
then
game.
north, then east.
Yeah, it sounds like he needs help because the world map is really annoying.
Right.
Okay, great. So now the startup setup and same thing here, real quick.
Second thing is, you guys want to organize?
No, not the state machine. That's not what I want.
Figure out what makes the most sense.
Blend tree. Okay, great. Here we go. Same thing. 2-directional. Move X, move Y. 4 fields.
Discuss logistics. Because
2,
you are kind
3.
of in charge of tax logistics, so it kind of also makes sense.
Okay,
for you
so negative
to
0.3.
figure
No,
out what makes sense
no.
for you. I am totally fine with you guys using this super light monitor if you want.
Negative 0.3, 0, 0.3, and 0.3. Okay, and 0. Okay. And why is it all gray? Oh, because I don't have anything assigned
It makes
yet.
sense for me to start with you because I'm bringing my stuff. You bring your
Move
stuff.
X. no, sorry, hit.
I mean, I can give you my stuff.
Or that, yeah.
Hit
Or you
west.
can tip that.
It depends,
Hit
like, if we're both taking
No,
the
that's
first
north.
step, that means we
That
have
should
to
have been
do
north.
much longer shifts.
And east. Here we go.
Whereas if we like trade off.
And then now we set up the attack and the final part at the end.
Anyway, I gotta go.
Okay. But it's from 4 to midnight.
4 to midnight, yep.
Okay.
Which we can trade off as well.
There we go.
I can take it.
Oops, no, I don't want to do that.
I have my phone if you want to text me as well. I'll keep track of many messages.
0.3, 0,
Okay.
0.3,
Yeah.
and
Well, I'll
0.3,
trade there
and
as well.
0.
Yep.
Got it right this time. 0. Wait, where's west? There's southwest, north, and east. Cool. And exits. And the transition, again, I wish there was a default setting I could use. If you guys know this, like maybe you should tell me, but I wish I could just set it to 1 and 0 every single time. But it seems to just pick a random value, or maybe it's always 0.9 and 0.1. But here we go. Okay, so now set up. I'm gonna save project so that I don't lose progress.
Okay, makes sense.
And I'm gonna unhook this like before.
Just like sets up. Yeah.
Oh, the Spellblade special?
No, the cactus,
Oh.
they explode in chunks, but even the little
Yeah.
teeny tiny
It's
ones
a
blow up in
sand
like
Oh yeah,
huge
yeah,
chunks.
it's pretty great. It's pretty
Crazy
pretty
to make a
ridiculous.
variant.
State machine and boom attack. And same thing, attack. No, wait. We don't actually have
Always.
we don't have a trigger for its special, so I'm gonna set that up right now.
Okay.
Okay, so special, and when special is triggered, it will go into here. No, it doesn't have any exit time. So it's just gonna be like this, so that it instantaneously transitions to that.
Yeah.
The problem is that right now, right now the AI doesn't support special attacks for enemies, but it will soon. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch these back to attack, triggered by just a normal attack trigger, and I'm just going to prioritize the boom attack over the basic attack, just to be able to see that the boom attack is working. Then I'm going to worry later about whether the AI works with it.
It's because my dialogue makes the character disappear.
Here we go.
Nothing to say to stop.
Okay, so it kind of lumbers towards me. Okay, did I screw up the directions again? That's probably what happened. Okay, yeah, that's
Also,
most definitely what happened. Let's have a quick look here.
something that other players can cancel you out of. You know, I don't think.
Okay, so that's a complete mess up. How did that happen?
What? What happened?
No, I keep screwing up the directions. Like I put the this really should be south, and I put west instead, so it's completely off. Yep.
You have 2 south in there now.
I know.
Okay.
I'm slowly fixing it. I think I'm getting it right this time.
You know, the thing with the boom attack is that I think we want that to be a heavy hitting.
Yeah.
So maybe like an AOE, like a slight AOE, like you're supposed to try to get away from it. Right?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well,
And
we'll have to, yeah.
might be interesting to add like a circular boom effect.
Like the Spellblade effect?
We
or-
could use that as a placeholder. for
Okay.
something
Alright,
like
alright.
that.
So-
But I want to like it's like so powerful. This stuff like dusts and stuff.
Okay. All right. Sure. That's yeah. Let's make that a reality in like 30 minutes. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Southwest northeast is correct. It's southwest north. And okay, that was wrong completely. Right, southwest northeast. Okay, save project so that I don't lose this. Let's see this in action. Okay. Ooh. but you see he's like sliding around. Same thing as before. It just needs at the top level on the boom attack. It just needs stop movement. And now he'll see he doesn't move anymore while he's not attacking, or he doesn't slide around anymore. Rather, cool. Next step is let's say I want to make the startup slower for the Ursa Major because I've split it into multiple parts. Like let's say if I set the speed of the startup to like 0.5, now he's gonna like take a long time before coming down, and or I can slow this down. Or alternatively, what I can do is, well actually it depends on which one because I don't want it to play over and over again. Maybe speed is the best option. I'm gonna just go with speed.
Red is okay. Oh, racing
Maybe this got disconnected.
Here we go. Whoa. Okay, that's probably too slow.
You know what? It's totally possible. Back out of.
Yeah, that's too slow. What I'm gonna have to do is just add a delay within the animation itself if I want to just slow it down. I'm just gonna go back here, one. Just gonna restore these guys. Go to, I'm gonna click on Ursa Major here. One downside to the sprite-based approach is that if you need to start editing the animations, you have to edit it in every single case. So the more directions you have, the harder it gets.
Can't you freeze it on the last frame of the start instead?
I guess we could add a component that just waits on that.
Because it's okay to freeze on the last frame. That's the hold frame in the start animation.
Okay, okay.
Any of the time.
That might save us time instead. Let's see if I can make a quick component that'll do that. Here we go. So I'm gonna create a new script. Animation states.
Yeah, I'll press one.
I'm just gonna call it freeze add. And then, since it's gonna be mostly similar to existing scripts like hitpause, I'm gonna take most of it. And then just copy paste it in. Okay. And I don't care about the bool name. So I'm just gonna delete these for now because I really just need this main functions. The way I want to do it is that in the last little bit of the animation, I want it to freeze. So I'm gonna check this here. If state info dot
Do you have any time preferences for Saturday? Not too late, not
what's
too
it called?
early.
Normalized time. So normalized time is how basically how much of the animation has been completed. If it's 1, it's completely finished, and if it's 0, it's just starting. So let's say if I check if normalized time is 9.5, then I have a good sense that time has it's near the end of the animation, right? It's not an exact thing, but actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a freeze start variable. And it's just starting off at 0, or I'll start off at 0.9f because most of the time I want it at the end. And I'm gonna put freeze start. And if it's, once this happens, it's gonna have a tool called frozen, and by default it's false, but when this happens it's gonna be true. Oops. Frozen is true. And what else? If frozen is false. So only if you're not frozen yet, then start freeze. Once it hits this trigger, and it's gonna set the animator that speed. So it's just gonna freeze the speed of the animations, which means it's just gonna get stuck for X amount of time. And float. It's gonna have a timer or a freeze timer. And it's gonna have a controllable freeze duration that'll I'll expose to the editor. And I'm gonna just say, I don't know, it's gonna be 0.2 seconds by default. If you are frozen,
I can be there anytime. I don't care about it.
then we're gonna add to the freeze timer. Time that delta time, so it's gonna add real time to the timer. It's gonna sync up with how much time has actually passed in real life. And if freeze timer is greater than freeze duration, then animator speed sorry, animator dot speed is 1 again, so it gets restored. And yeah, so it's once it reaches a 90% of animation completion, then it's gonna freeze, and then once it freezes, it'll wait for 0.2 seconds before letting go. And on startup, it's gonna reset the frozen. Let's try this. Come on. Okay. Almost there. Whoa, what's this? I'm sure it's not there. Okay, so I'm gonna try applying this new freeze anim. Oh, it's the wrong place. I'm gonna apply it at the startup animation level. So in theory, it should just stop at. Actually, I'm gonna jack this up to like 1 second so that it'll be pretty clear if it's working or not. Okay, and okay, looks like it's not working. Let's try again. I'm gonna track it here at the same time. Okay, so it's not freezing. Why is that? 0.9. Okay. It's frozen, then add to the frozen timer. It's freezing, and the duration's good. Increase the duration. Let's set freeze start to something really small, like 0.1, and see if it triggers. Okay, it's still ignoring it. I'm gonna put a debug log to see if it even gets it here. Just making sure. Oh, it stops. Come on, let's see it. Here we go. I'm gonna click on RSM major, then okay. So it's definitely trying to do it, but it's not actually freezing it. Attempting to freeze, and the animator speed is 0. Freeze timer goes up. Let's try jacking up the startup the freeze duration to like 100 seconds, and then we'll really know for sure if it's happening or not. Okay, it's still ignoring me. Why is that? Maybe it's because of exit time. Let's see. No, it should really just get stuck. at the end of that anim. Okay, so something really strange is going on. That the startup anim itself seems to have most of the attack. I'm gonna check out what's going on. Okay. Yes. So, oh, interesting. Okay, it does have to start up mostly. So it really should freeze here. Wow. Okay. Just checking to make sure. Okay, he lifts it and okay, he just loops the attack. Okay, so that is actually working properly, but if I set distance to speed to 0, will it freeze? That's already broken down. What is going on? Less stuff you start. Oh, it's happening immediately. Should be greater than equal to free start. Let's try again. Whoa, time. Whoa. What? Oh, it's compiling right now. Okay. There we go. Okay, now it's getting stuck, but not at the right place. What's going on? This free start should be 0.1. That's weird. That means it should have really just done it from the beginning, but. Okay, now we're seeing it. Look at the snakes pushing around the. Okay, that's good. Now it's working. I'm gonna not make it 100 seconds. Although that couldn't have been 100 seconds anyway. Weird. But okay, so it's working in some form. Freeze and then comes down. Huh. But sometimes it doesn't work. It's probably not resetting the timer. Now it should happen every time. And down, okay, and down, and down. Cool.
Someone suggested you check your parameters
For which one?
when you get stuck.
Getting stuck. Oh, right, yeah, I see what you mean. I'm gonna do something similar thing at the end here. Not sure what that looks like. I'm gonna just quickly check the end anim. Okay, it's just straight up. Okay. Back to the animator, And then it's just gonna wait 1 full second.
It's just like with the.
Taking a little while there. Whoop. And down and wait. Up. Down. Wait. Cool. Down. Great. Now I'm gonna give a bit of a shockwave to the attack, so that it feels like there's more of an impact. Actually, I'm gonna add a knockback and a bit of a shockwave. So to do that, I'm gonna look at the. Where is it? I'm gonna create a new skill folder for some agent here. Then duplicate one of our skill templates. Well, that's fine for now. And just gonna knock back to something high.
I think the button thing is a coincidence. I think.
And let's look at the skill set here. Okay, and it's gonna use. It's gonna be renamed.
It wasn't from your crazy mashing.
I wasn't really mashing. You were.
Okay,
Not
and
sure.
that should hook it up to the new milling skill I made for it. And then, and let's make the stun duration something bigger. There we go. And okay, that's not even hitting me at all. Where's the collider? Let's see. Turning on the UI again. It's not doing anything. I'm gonna guess that he doesn't have the right triggers on him, but we'll see. Yeah. Right. So at the end of the start anim, right here. So triggers, yeah, that's not gonna do it. I'm gonna get rid of these. Now, I'm just gonna hook it up to a normal attack now. And it's gonna be at the start of the head animation. Trigger attack. South is 0. West is 1. North is 2. Trigger attack. And 3. Okay. So if that worked, should start damaging. Maybe I need to just stop it first. Here we go. And okay, now it's hitting me. Well, it's not very clear because of all the snakes that are. God damn it. that it hits me. Yeah, once again. Okay, good. You saw the spark, right? Cool. But it's not really doing the knockback, is it? Let's see what happens if I turn off invincibility. Okay, that's not very big. That should be huge. What's going on? It's pointing towards the right skill and everything. But what happens if I jack it up? Okay, that's more like it. And down. Good. So next I want to add like a shockwave particle effect to it. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna require a new script. Or just an expansion of an old one, but same difference really. Let's call it Ursa Major Heavy for now. And it's gonna be based on the basic melee attack script that you saw earlier. And it's gonna have a prefab slot for the shockwave. What's it called? Shockwaves. And so when the skill not when the skill activates, but when the skill comes down. Actually, maybe unactivate still would work fine. Let's just use unactivate. When the skill is activated, it's gonna instantiate the shockwave prefab at base movement manager, so like Ursa Major's position, and facing the camera. Get compiled. I'm just gonna ignore those errors, which is probably a bad idea, but let's see what happens. And I'm gonna go back to the attack component that I made for, or rather, attack object that I made for Ursa Major. I'm gonna replace its script with a heavy version, and I'm going to add the explosion effect to it. It uses a normal map texture to create like a whirlpool or kind of a wavy effect that distorts the screen. So let's see if that works. Should save project first, always. That didn't spawn anything. Let's see what's going on. Oh, it's returning before it even gets there. Duh. Let's spawn it first. Here we go. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Well, that was kind of interesting in its own way, but it's happening too quickly. Yeah, I need to slow it down. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the Ursa Major's animation, and I'm gonna trigger something else. It's gonna be the attack continue trigger, and that'll be read by the script, attack script when it gets triggered. This is south, so that's 0, and then this is that's 1. And 2. And oh wow, I've already made a couple here. I'm gonna delete one of these. Trigger. Great. 3. That was 3, right? Did I put 3? No. Okay, and in the script, I'm gonna do.
XL83 says, I feel like you don't need a game designer as your programmer pretty much makes a lot of great decisions by himself.
It really depends on the circumstance. I mean, design usually deals with the problem at a different level than, like in the case of combat, it works in the sense that there's a lot of little intricacies that it's just easier to do on the fly. But I do feel that there's a lot of things in implementation that's not entirely relevant to design, and so I still feel that designers are important.
Someone asked, he is Kim?
Yes, he is Kim. Instead.
He is Kim.
I don't know, man. Like, okay. So I can't figure out why it spawned that way, but I'm gonna try and check again. So I'm just gonna be inspired by an existing script here. Oh, oh, interesting. That's how I do it. Weird. Okay, so this time the shockwave should face the right direction. Let's see. Come on. Wait, well that was my shockwave. See, you saw that? The Ursa Major now has a shockwave effect every time it comes down. Like the timing's a little bit off, but it's there now. I'm just gonna delay it a bit. Wait, so where is it? Yeah, maybe when the impact happens. There we go. Up and down. I really gotta stop them from being able to push the giant bear around. But cool. Now it's much more believable. Wow. Okay, I want to move the damage timer as well to like the continue part. Yeah, I'm just gonna move the whole thing back to that frame. Here we go. Wow. Wow. The knockbacks doesn't seem to be happening anymore. Okay, now it happened, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Okay, that's a bug, but that's probably a bigger bug than I probably have time to solve during the stream. No. But cool. So Ursa Major now like has a heavy. Ah! Oh wow, that's. It's mostly okay. It's mostly okay.
That was a smoothie move.
Oh wow, you really went there. Cool. I'm just gonna apply it to the Ursa Major and just call it a day for that one. And I'm gonna commit because I'm so responsible. Freeze and cool. Actually, one thing I will do before I forget is see if I can get it to have use 2 skills instead of just the one. So right now I just replaced the Ursa Major's a light attack with a heavy one, but I'm gonna try and see if I can quickly get it to have both. So as you saw before, I changed the priorities. I'm gonna change it. Well, that doesn't really matter. I'm gonna change the trigger for the heavy attack to be special instead. And so the Ursa Major is running under the. So we have a plugin called Node Canvas that we're using for AI behaviors, and I'm gonna just make some quick edits there. If you go into the attack component, it just really has 2 sections where it either sees that the target's close by and you go attack it, or the target's too far and go towards attack the target. So I'm gonna make another category in here, like another section in here. Or maybe it should be. Okay, I'm gonna create a selector, probability selector. So it's gonna have a chance of using one attack over another. Okay, so right now it's a 50-50 between the normal skill and I'm gonna call it the heavy melee skill. It'll be updated soon. But I really want it to be rare. So I'm gonna change the weight so that the normal attack is gonna be like 75% and let's round it down. And 25% of the time it's gonna try to use a heavy attack, given that you are in range. Let's go back to this, and I'm gonna apply this behavior, of course. And I'm gonna go back to the skill. Where is it? Right, this thingy. I duplicate it. This is gonna be the heavy one. And I'm gonna rename it to be heavy melee skill. That's gonna be the one with the wavy effect. This one is gonna be the lame normal attack. And it's not gonna have as much knockback. I go to boom attack. Okay, and on Ursa Major, it's going to be. It's gonna have 2 skills like that. Okay, So just to check again, Ursa Major, once it's near the player, it's gonna do a roll, and if it rolls 75%, then it's like 75% of the time it's gonna try to use a base melee skill, and other times it's gonna use the heavy melee skill. Let's see if that works. Okay, so he's biting, bite. All right, nothing's actually triggering special. What should I do about this? Oh, right, we already have a skill number, so my bad. That was using the special trigger was the wrong way to do it. I'm gonna do it this way. If it's I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna change this back to skill number equals same thing here. If it's 0, it's gonna be the base attack. If it's 1, it's gonna be the other one. Wait, 0. Yeah. And I'm gonna have a quick look at one of our scripts to make sure. Okay. Attack and add index. Set attack direction. That's not what I want. On attack. It's gonna find a skill with that ID. Activate that skill. Skills. Okay. Actually, I probably need to change it here instead. Skill number. No, it's gonna just go through the normal attack channel. That's the problem. What should I do? Okay. Oh no, I'll do it this way. I'm actually gonna bring back the skill trigger, special trigger. So if it's attack and special, it's gonna do one thing, and if it's just normal, like attack, then it's gonna do the other. Wait, yeah, this is the basic attack, so this is the normal one. And attack and special, because it's special. Animator, that, oops. Should be base movement manager, that animator, that set trigger, special. Let's see if that does it. What? 2. Ah, come on. Let's look at what's going on with AI. It's kind of stuck for one, but I think that's a collider issue. But let's see. So it's definitely in the attack part. I'm gonna put this at the bottom. And it gets here, and it's like, no, I can't find a target, man. Okay, I can fix that. Here we go. Forgot to set up the reference there. This should work better. Okay, and 1. Okay. Oh wait, it's in the 25% case, but it's failing somehow. No. Okay. Let's check that again. it's a 25% case, but I think there's an error of some sort. No, that's not the error I'm looking for. It's kind of just stuck. I don't think it's triggering the. It's not triggering heavy melee skill. Just to make sure it's named properly. Let's make sure. And what else? On the Ursa Major, it's
Someone asked me a question about dialogues.
dialogues. We were supposed to show a bit of that today, but we're running out of time here. Mike, do you want to show dialogues at all or no? Okay, well maybe next time. Sorry, you're stuck with me today.
I mean, you could jump in and show it.
I guess so. Sure. Like we only have 10 minutes left anyway. So I actually have never used this. It's on your mic. Well, I guess we'll. Here's Mike Ditchburn.
Hey guys.
Wait. No, it's running the game now. Okay, well, I'm just gonna take this out.
Can't actually, you don't have it set up so I can see what they're saying, but
Well, you can close the sprite editor window, then you can see what they're saying. I've been just ignoring it because I'm amateur.
the mouse is really slow.
Your mouse is super fast. What's up with that? Like I tried using your mouse the other day. I was like, holy.
I like moving across the screen at about 1 millimeter.
I see.
So yeah, we have this custom dialogue system, which I made. It's all using the sort of extended editor stuff in Unity. So that combined with scriptable objects. What do we got here? I'm trying to think of the easiest way to show this off.
Maybe like show an existing dialogue, or would that be more complex? I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe let's find something. Let's see here before.
There we go.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, most
They
likely.
can't hear me, so.
They can hear you? Okay. Yeah, so basically the way that it works, it's all node-based. So this purple one here is always the root one. And then you can say what portrait the NPC has. You can tell it the dialogue that it has. You can give it an ID. You can give it the name of the NPC. And then you have a bunch of other options down here. I mean, you can also, if you want to show the main player's portrait, or you want to put a custom portrait, like if you want to turn the player into like a mouse for one frame or something like that, you could put in a picture of a mouse instead of the player.
Oh, that's pretty slick.
Then yeah, you can choose a bunch of other options here for different options for what images show up.
But you can actually show the entire party in one go.
That option is there.
The option's
There's
there.
no functionality for it right now. The other thing you can do is within each node, when it starts or when it ends, you can set up actions. So you could have it play a cutscene. You could have it change the stat on a player. You could add a buff to a player. You can set a flag in the game. So like if you wanted to say that a certain quest had been completed or had been started or something like that, you can just set that there. And there's a bunch of stuff you can do. This is you can add a trait. So we have a trait system in the game where basically you gain like you're vengeful or you're compassionate, or you have different character traits that you gain. And so you can add these or remove these at the beginning or end of these dialogue options. That's what this does here. And you do that through the responses. So here we have an example, like this has two responses. One is yes, which goes to this other node, and the other one is, it says not yet. And that goes here.
Yeah.
And so when this comes here, it will play a cutscene and then load a scene afterwards. But the other thing you can do here with responses is you can add conditions. I should probably not actually edit this.
I won't push it. Just
New dialogue,
well,
yeah.
sure, as you like.
But down here, you can add conditions to the responses so that they only show up if a certain condition has been met. So maybe they say something particularly nasty if they have the vengeful trait on the character, or say another quest has been set off, or whatever flag has been set. You could respond to say that you'd finished the quest or done a certain thing. Also having certain items, so you could hand in a quest item or something like that. Also certain classes might have different options based on their character class. They might have something different to say.
Wow.
So all of this stuff can be added as conditionals onto these responses. And basically what it does is it goes through all the responses and it'll pull a maximum of 3. So it prioritizes them, and anything that meets conditions will float to the top, and you'll end up with a maximum of 3 options. Usually there's only 2 options, but there's functionality for 3 right now.
Cool.
Any questions?
I mean, so one thing I want to iterate is like before we had this tool, like we were like literally using text documents. So this is like this is like night and day. So I'm like, wow, my hat's off to Mike. Seriously.
When we started, it was until about 2 weeks ago, it was all XML or something like XML, JSON files, and you were writing all of this stuff in a text file. And so if you had a typo or any kind of mistake at all, the whole thing would kind of collapse.
It would actually kind of destroy the game because the game wouldn't parse the text, and then everything. Yeah.
So yeah, I took probably too much time to overhaul it and make it super fancy.
But I mean, it looks awesome, right?
It's working pretty great right now, and it means that
awesome,
Tanya
yeah.
can jump in and make dialogue for characters really quickly and really easily, and a lot of the error checking is done at the editor level, so that down the road it doesn't mess things up if there's bad data, because you can't put that bad data in.
Right.
I mean, not that it's not still possible to do that, but it's much less likely than a text editor.
We should really repackage this and put it in the App Store. I mean, sorry, the Asset Store.
Yeah, I've had people ask me about
Yeah.
that. So yeah, like here, you do an internal link, you can create a new. Yeah, I have this, so you have to hold control.
Sorry.
So the response from this could be like whatever. Yeah, I mean, at it's very basic at its root, but you can create really complex trees, basically, of dialogue with different portraits that change between different dialogues, and it'll give you these nice Bezier curves showing the links between everything, and it shows the option in between and stuff like that. So I think it's really easy to read what's going on in the editor and see the overview of the conversation. The other part of this is
There's a question about the behavior of the NPCs based on the answer or on your
NPC. I'm not sure what you mean by behavior of the NPC. Like their attitude, or because one of the functionalities of the dialogue system that has been implemented yet is we're going to overhaul and kind of do a new scripting system so that we can move characters around and have them actually play animations or react based on dialogue stuff. Like afterwards, they might run away or run off screen and stuff like that. I want to implement something like that, but that hasn't been done yet. So basically, yeah, one NPC would have a list of different things they might say or how they might react, and that will change based on what the player currently has on them. So like any traits that they have or any buffs that they have would alter your options, but also what they might say to you in reaction to them. The other part that's not shown here, and I can't find it quickly here, but there's that's just one graph of dialogue. So you also have a dialogue selector, which goes on to an NPC that selects which graph to use based on those conditions. So each of these trees is also being branched off of a whole other system, which also uses conditional stuff. So you have one character that would have a whole priority of different graphs to use, which would start different dialogues or different conversations or events and things like that. So yeah, there's kind of 2 levels to it that I wish I could find. Where's the desert village scene?
I'll just type it in.
Another desert village. Should I save?
Could you apply the Mount Versa just in case? Cancel and just apply it. Just in case. In case my work goes
All of your work goes away. Maybe I should save anyway?
Yeah. Save project, save the scene, save everything, just in case.
There we go.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny, I never use save project. I never had trouble with it.
Never lost work now?
Let's see. Yeah, so here's the desert. This is the leader. This is actually the conversation that was just, we were just looking at as an example. There's also on here the a custom inspector to choose the conversation. So it basically just goes from top to bottom on this list, deciding which graph to use. And each of these has conditionals as well. Actually, this is a really boring one to look at because there's not really any conditions, but it previews the first bit of conversation so that Tanya has an idea of which graph it's actually pointing to. And then you can add conditions on this the same way with like the traits and things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, ask in chat. I'm going to go off cam. I'll answer in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks, Mike. So we're down to the last minute here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Questions?
Questions? Otherwise, like, thank you all for tuning in. We're doing a stream next week?
Next Friday.
Next Friday
again,
as
I
well?
think,
Okay.
Leading up to PAX. Yep.
Every week leading up to facts, so.
All right.
Cool. Thank you very much.